Oh man, the die has been cast. Okay, welcome tonight to church. It's a special night. Welcome to you who are not usually with us on Sunday evening. We have lots of good fun in here and talk about strange things. And so, hey, great greets. So you're always welcome back. So tonight is youth camp share night. Okay. So I don't have a lesson prepared. I don't even know why I'm talking. Um, that's okay. So we are here to hear. I'm going to turn it over to the youth, and y'all give them your full attention and be excited about what the Lord has done.
All right, so youth, if y'all have learned anything about students, they don't follow instructions very well. You tell them, hey, be at church. Talk louder? Oh. Anyways, I'm sorry. I thought she was just trying to ignore me, like, hey, this dude talks too much. No, yeah, 100%. So we had a great time at camp. This year we decided to go in June because we thought it was going to be cooler. It was 101 degrees every day and 100% humidity every day, which is why we're not going back there next year. Going somewhere else. So, no, but it was awesome. We love Highland Lakes. It's fun. But, you know, this year the theme was signature. It was in Genesis, talking about how you are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. That was the theme verse. What's up? What do you mean?
Like, do you know what the significance of signature is?
Yeah, everyone's signature is different and unique to them. Just like you being made in the image of God. It's unique to you. Does that work? All right, you could explain that on your own. So the speaker's name, his name was Ronnie Hill. Now you're running out of topics to talk about. Ronnie Hill, he was a country boy. Ronnie Hill is a country boy, so really related to some of our kids like Ty and Maddox. But he did a good job. The one thing that I can commend him on is he did something that I've been trying to figure out how to do for 14 years, and that's to teach teenagers how to share their story. They don't listen to me very well when it comes to that. But they listened to Ronnie, and they shared their story, and they started realizing, oh, wait, I do have a story. You know, some of the kids that aren't here, they've grown up in church their entire life, and they're like, well, I've been in church my entire life. And then, like, he would transition from that saying, well, if you don't think you have a story, then have you accepted Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior? Your story may not have begun yet. So it was really great. We had 5 students who made decisions to follow Jesus, which was crazy, awesome. Maddox is one of them. He's going to talk about that in a minute. He just went, oh. You knew you were going to talk about it. But there were some other students who, man, one of my favorite things about camp is when we go into the dorm just to cool down or whatever, just the conversations we have. Like, we sat there and we had some of the deepest conversations I've had with students this year, with some students who you wouldn't expect them to get very deep, but they did, and they were great conversations and very fruitful. And I think it's going to continue to progress, which I'm excited about. So, all right. Anybody want to start us off? You want to talk? Anybody? Man, y'all sure do like to talk when it's Wednesday night. Oh, okay, come on.
What do you want to say?
Just talk about camp.
You want to like introduce
Uh, I'm Todd Dagnall. I'm gonna be a senior this year. Stop, Serena. So at church camp, I really got closer with God. I got closer with a bunch of the youth students, especially Maddox. Me and Maddox really grew closer. It just church was a great experience, and I'm for sure ready for next year. It was hot. It was very hot, and yeah. So here's Maddox.
No, come on. Talk about.
She told me to hurry, so I hurried.
No, it's only gonna keep talking. Bro, we got 45 minutes to go.
Hello. My name's Maddox. Going to 7th grade. Uh, church camp was amazing. I did get a better relationship with Ty and Haley because those are sort of the only two here, I believe, and David, Deborah, and Serena. It was amazing, other than the heat and humidity, but it was amazing. And worship felt nice, even though Ty put me on his shoulders. But one thing that was really good about it was how Ronnie, the speaker, really put a whole bunch of stories into the lesson, and it was really amazing. My favorite part would be the worship, but it was amazing. Here's Haley. Hi, I'm Haley, and my favorite part was hanging out with some of the youth kids that are here, like Maddox and Ty, and David, Deborah, and Serena. And and my favorite part was worship and playing Nine Square. And seeing Maddox being on Ty's shoulders, of course, my favorite part. And that's it. I think Serena was it. Serena? What? No. Deborah?
I hadn't planned on going. I'll let you go first. Let's see. I got roped into going again this year. I always end up being like a last minute, can you go with us? Because we don't have anybody else to go. So, right. I kind of dreaded it, mainly just because of the heat. I knew, just thinking about going in the heat was not what I really wanted to do. Thought I was going to relax after school and chill out, but when I go, I always have a good time. This year was, I enjoyed last year too, but this year it seemed like a better year for the students to open up and talk. They did seem to relate to the speaker a lot, and they were able to share their testimonies from the way that he did it. He explained to them to tell before Christ, when they met Christ, and then how it's after Christ. And they were able to pick up on that, and then he also gave them like hand motions to know how to remember that. Like he's a country boy, so he does guns and stuff. So he was showing them. Let's see, how do you? I can't remember it. God loves you. See, they know it. You're a sinner, so he's basically shooting them. You kill him, died. Yeah, pop cap, as he said, pop cat, and then leads to death, and you're a sinner. But through God, or through Christ, Jesus, you're saved, and you can go to heaven. So the kids picked up on that, and I know as a teacher that those kinds of things really make a difference for them to remember, That's why I told him that night, I said, they're going to remember that, if those things are, and sure enough, they did. They sat there and told him what it was, and they were able to tell their story that way. And what I remember from the word signature was that they said that we are God's signature. So we're all different, but the way he signed us, we're his signature. So Maddox's testimony is pretty powerful, not too much of it. But I enjoyed it. I'll hold the next session.
don't, but like Micah, it was her last year with us, and it was really sad. And we kept telling the youth that they had to like figure out how to step up because Ty's the only senior now, so he can't do it all alone. But he'll try. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. We found other ways to entertain ourselves in the dog cabin. We did not have deep theological conversations. If you look at any photos from the girls' cabin, we are completely bullying. That's what we do. Food was good. Lots of chicken. We're very big believers in chicken. We only had beef one time we were there. It was 3 times? I don't even know why. Did I even go? Here.
Yeah, beef tacos. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun, and I thank you so much, Deborah, for going. Serena, Deborah told me, this is so funny. I kind of laugh when people tell me things like this, but Deborah told me, she's like, I'm just going. I'm just gonna be there. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna step up and lead. I'm not gonna do anything. She would speak up, speak out, and share her story. You did awesome, just like you did last year. But she didn't plan on doing those things, but you did, and it was awesome. Now what I want to do is what we did. What we did at camp. Like the whole thing that stuck with us is we're gonna tell our stories. You know my story. But I'll do it just because I'm going to make y'all do it. I'm not going to make you do anything that I wouldn't do. My name is David. I accepted Jesus as my personal Lord and Savior at 17. Before I met Christ, I was a mess. I was a hot mess. In fact, most of the people I grew up with don't recognize me now. They'll tell you I'm a completely different person. But I was lost. I felt alone. I felt worthless. I didn't feel like I amounted to anything, and I felt abandoned. And so, but I remember it was at Vacation Bible School. I was in a leadership position, and God had a plan. And He punched me in the face, and with a little kid, a small child, asked me if I knew who Jesus Christ was. At first I blew it off because that's what teenagers do. They just blow little kids off. But then she says, well, He's telling me you need to get right with Him. And that crushed me, and I gave my life to Jesus. And ever since then, I've been extremely committed, not just to teach other people about Jesus and share my faith, but really focus on teenagers because if they felt anything like I did before Christ, then they need Jesus because He's the only thing that can fulfill you and satisfy you. Awesome. Who wants to go first? Ooh, Ty.
So, I got saved when I don't know how old I was, probably 2015. Before I met Christ, I felt lost and lonely. I felt like I didn't have anyone to go to. My family, I knew they were there for me, but I just wasn't comfortable going to them. I started praying. I started talking to my grandparents about it. I got more in the Bible, and my grandpa, he was the biggest impact. He talked to me and talked to me and talked to me and guided me through it. And I ended up getting saved and baptized with him. And he baptized me, and it was an amazing moment. My life since Jesus has been well directed, more happy, more enlightful. I feel like I can be myself and not be judged by anybody. And I feel like if I have any problems, then Jesus is the first person I can go to. I feel like I had a better direction in my life, and just all around, it's been easier, and I haven't had to hide anything or keep anything to myself. I've always, since I met Jesus, just I don't know. It's been different, and I know that he's got my back.
Some of my friends, and I then felt like I could like be myself around them. So, and then I went to a youth camp, and I felt like, okay, this is my place. Like, I like this camp. So after that, I just sort of like stayed in the youth ministry, and grab your tray for lunch and you'll go, I don't know where, to a classroom, and basically what you'll do is you'll basically get taught about God, and basically like a very fun day. You'll get a little activity, it's really fun, and then it's really fun when you get more people in. It's really touching, and it's probably my favorite part of it. At school, and it's just a new little thing that if you don't really have a good relationship with God, you can just do it in your first day.
Hello again, David. Um, so, David and I have a really long, we've talked about this before. I struggle with knowing when I was saved because I've been in church for a long. So as a child, I had a really difficult upbringing. I dealt with a lot of abuse that was like, come on, you need to be, I don't. And so I was lonely, looking for somebody to like be around that I could count on and who would listen. And even though I grew up in the church, my abusers went to the church too, so to me, God wasn't really paying attention because nothing was happening or changing. When I turned 18 was when things really started to change because things started to happen like in my life, and that was whenever I started being a leader in my church that I was at the time. I feel like that's when like the salvation part really hit me. Like I knew Jesus was in my life, I knew He was there, and that He was always with me, but I didn't really accept that or believe in that because nothing was happening. I was living in a bad place, so how could He like me? So when things started to change, it was when I was 18, so I started to like become a counselor, and honestly, when you're 18, who wants to go be a camp counselor? Honestly, who signs up for that? I helped out with Sunday school, like it's only things that I met this weirdo in front room. At a camp he wasn't supposed to be at. And it was just, you know, God started working in my life just like in every way He could think of, to show that He had always been there because like I was listening and paying attention. Since I found God, like we have created communities everywhere we go of like people who listen and care. So I feel like all the things that I argued with God about because He wasn't there, He's providing for me now that I'm paying attention. So they're all forgetting the fourth step. All of you forgot the fourth step. I want to like frown at all of you, except Deborah because she didn't go. Just because you move over there doesn't mean I'm not. So there's a fourth step. So you're supposed to talk about your life before God. Talk about your life when you found Jesus. You're supposed to talk about your life since you found Jesus. And the fourth step that nobody did, Mr. Senior, is you're supposed to allow whoever you're talking to respond. So like this is supposed to be the opportunity that if you're talking to someone who doesn't know God and you're telling them how God has impacted your life, you're supposed to go, do you need God? Do we need to talk about that? How can we figure that out? And that's the fourth step. Guys, get it together.
Thank you, Serena. So yeah, it's really cool to hear these students just openly share their faith. It is so hard, especially at school, to get students to openly share their faith. And here they were at a camp where, you know, these are their peers they go to school with, they interact with on a daily basis, and like they just boldly stand up and share their faith. And then there's, you know, students in our student ministry who still don't have a relationship with Jesus. And there's some who are very hesitant. They're right there, but they're hesitant to just give their life to Jesus. And so for them to see someone like Maddox or Ty or Haley stand up and boldly share their faith and why they believe in what God's done for them is so powerful. It's so powerful. And Miss Deborah said it, like, when some of these kids share their testimony, like, it's hard not to cry. And there were many moments where we were sitting on the back porch of our dorm, having church group time, crying. Maddox said something in the video you saw this morning if you were at church. He said he felt a burst of energy, and then he said, I felt alive. And Maddox, that shows me that you absolutely get it. You absolutely get it, because you went from death to life. And that's so powerful. And that is the most powerful thing you've said in your testimony, is that you are alive. And that's just so cool to me. So I'm excited for our youth ministry. I really do think that God knew exactly what he was doing this year, when some dropped and some added late. And then Miss Deborah comes out of, I don't know, I don't want to say we shamed you or guilted you into it, but we were having our board game night at the house Monday at Vacation Bible School, and Serena and I go out to her car, and we're just talking to her, and we're like, so we need another sponsor for camp. And so Monday night before camp, she agreed to go. So, yeah, so thank you. So for camp next year, there's a lot of things that we want to see hopefully happen over the next year. But next year we plan on going to camp in Colorado, which we're super excited about. Yeah, 74 degrees every day. I'm super excited about that. But something that I wanted to do coming in, I mentioned this to the search committee and stuff, was go to the same camp for 3 years, and then the 4th year do a destination camp. Because some of these kids probably don't leave Montana, Texas very often. So it just gives them an opportunity to not only experience God, but to explore the world. So that's exciting. That being said, y'all be praying for our student ministry, because there are, it's easy to get distracted. I mean, we had sports tonight, which is, it's hard to get away from that in high school, but sports can become a distraction, on Wednesday nights, and then not only that, like, friends, it's overwhelming how much pressure friends put on you to this church, or to do things you're not supposed to do. Peer pressure is so tough today, more than it's ever been. Because not only do I ask you at school to do something, now I can text you all day long and say, hey, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. Until eventually you cave, because I pressured you so much. So, that's something to think about. Ways that you can get involved with our student ministry. This is a shameless plug. Why not? We're talking about youth. This is a great opportunity. I am on a school whether it's high school, Walker Junior High, Parkway, TLA. I am on a school every single day of the week, doing first priority or FCA. You can get involved in that if you want to. You can help with that if you want to. You can show up, listen to the first priority, which is where Matt is talking about it. It's a student-led club where students openly share the gospel to their peers, and it gives them tools and instruments to use to boldly share the gospel on our campus. How much time do you spend at school? 8 hours a day. Okay, so that's 40 hours a week. And if you're in sports, you sometimes spend 60 to 70 hours a week at school. I am on school on your campus for an hour and 10 minutes a week. You're there for 70. Who's going to have more of a chance to reach the kids at Parkway? Not Maddox. And so the whole goal, first priority, is to teach the students how to be the evangelists on our campus. Because that's what they're supposed to do as they go in Jesus' name, is they're supposed to advance the gospel. And what better place to do it? There's not really one for you. So a better place to do it would be non-existent. You should be doing it at school. That being said, if you want to get involved in those things, there's plenty of opportunities to do so. Wednesday nights, if you want to come and serve food, if you want to come and lead a small group, if you want to come lead a game, I will equip you to do those things. Well, God's already equipping you, but I will help you tap into those things so that you can do it. Anybody is welcome. One of the, just to prove it to you, one of the most influential people when it came to my faith was an 85-year-old man who spoke into my life. So age is nothing but a number. It's nothing but a number. So it was an 85-year-old man who went to camp, who taught me a lot about the gospel that will forever have a place in my heart because he was willing to work with students. So, that being said, if you want to help, don't let age stop you. All right. Anybody have any questions? We had 18 students. That's crazy. Josh is taking 18 too. Yeah, we had 26 signed up. 26 signed up to go, and 8 dropped. So, which is probably a good thing because we had several sponsors drop too. So, in the big scheme of things. Any other questions? Ask anything. You can ask them questions too. I'll take the mic to them. No. So for the first time in like 4 years, he said, we were the first group to flip the banana boat. So, for those of you who didn't know, like, what was it, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? The first year Haley went, she got ran over by the banana boat. Because not the banana boat wasn't going real fast. They were trying to rope around to pick her up, and somehow she ended up underneath the banana boat. They literally went and bought these foam helmets that every kid has to wear now because of Haley. That's what they told me. So, hey, but it protects their head. Haley was okay. She didn't have a concussion. She was fine. It was all good. And it's a memory we will cherish for a lifetime, right? Are you traumatized by it? Oh, no. Yeah, nobody died. Any other questions? Disciple Now weekend, September 29th through October 1st. We need host homes, food, drivers, whatever you feel led to do. So that's a great opportunity. Maddox did not fall off of Ty's shoulder. Sing to Cecil, we already did it. Ty put him down pretty quick. He said that he was hurting his shoulders. He had a bony butt. Pretty much all of them. Serena's was gratitude. I don't know. What was your favorite? Gratitude. Yeah. Ty, I know what your favorite song was. It was the Phil Wickham song. This is our God. This is what he does. He saves us. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Really hard. No, yeah, no. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Yeah, pulled behind a boat. I'm sorry. So, yeah, somebody tell us a whole day at camp. Who wants to do it?
Oh, pick me. Oh, no, pick me. Okay, hold on. Okay. Breakfast is 8:30 because the girls did Bible study at 8. Then after breakfast at 9:15, we went to my house to go to worship till 10:30, I think. 10:30 sounds right. And then we did. So we had a rotation. So you either did wet, dry, or rec. We did rec. What did we do first?
Wreck the first day.
We did rec the first day for. There is. And we got to go chill in the cabins for an hour before we went to lunch.
Called cool down.
Yeah, it was called cool down. Our kids did not utilize cool down. They went to play 9 Square. And then we went to lunch. After lunch, you did the other 2. Whatever you didn't do in the morning, you did the other 2 that afternoon. Then you had 30 minutes to clean up. Then you went to dinner. Then after dinner, we went to worship. We went to worship from like 7:30 to like 9. It was a long time, but it was good. Like, I'm not complaining. And then after worship, we did a nightly activity. The first night we did, church group time is first. I totally took out both of the church group times.
I know. One's right before dinner.
One's right before dinner, one's right after worship. Monday night we did silent disco. Tuesday night we did free time. Wednesday night they had the senior junior night thing. Yeah. Thursday night we did the bell ceremony and the fireworks. Friday night we were sleeping in our own bed. Did I miss anything? Oh, and these girls, by the way, when you send your girls, tell them they have to get up. Teach them now. Tell them to go to bed and like make them go to bed, because these girls, they like to stay awake even when the lights are off. Go to bed. Go to bed. No, I got up one night because they wouldn't go to bed, and there were girls in other people's beds. No. No, I told them to go to their own bed. Go to your own bed. Miss Deborah was already asleep. and all the craziness in there. Okay, like.
No, you pick up your own trash and throw it away. But I've been to a camp like that. A tent, no swimming pool, cold lake. The first night their air conditioner was out. When they arrived there, they had no toilet paper.
Worship was that the AC was out.
Oh yeah, the AC. That's what you were talking about. Yeah, the first night they blew a fuse, and it took all the AC out of the auditorium, and it was hot. One of my favorite moments was of the first night. We arrived, and Jenna Bowman didn't get a name tag, and so I was talking to Krista, the registrar. I was like, hey, we need a name tag for Jenna Bowman. And I was sitting there in worship. Next thing you know, Krista taps me on the shoulder, and she's like, we don't have a Jenna Bowman. We forgot to register Jenna. So I went and spent almost the whole first worship service getting Jenna registered. Oh, I was in an AC. It was nice. The swimming pool broke once, so there was a whole day where we didn't get to swim, which was sad. Yeah, none of our kids did the rope course this year.
They really want to buy a 9 square.
Oh, yeah, they really want a 9 square. Oh, yeah, tell them what 9 square is.
So 9 square is basically it's like there's 9 squares and it's taller than tie, and you get a volleyball, and the middle person gets the ball and you have to throw it to one of the other people. But if you throw it out of the 9 square, you're out. Or if you spike it into somebody and they don't hit it out, they're out. Or basically, if you hit it out, or if it hits the ground in your square, you're basically out. And it's a really fun game for some reason, and the line's like a mile long for some reason. I don't know. And for some reason, there's too many tall kids. The only short kids were me and Haley, honestly. It was sort of bad. And then there was a gel ball war that me and Ty did. It's basically like these little guns that have Orbeez in them, and you basically just shoot them at each other. But you do have mask on to protect your eyes and mouth and stuff. It's really fun. And archery tag. You basically get a bow and an arrow, and the arrow has a little foam tip, and it's basically dodgeball. I don't know why they called it tag. Archery quest. It's okay, and then I don't know about the BB guns. I didn't do that.
I did that with some others.
I didn't do that either.
Archery?
I did archery.
You did archery?
Yes, I did the archery. So, which archery quest or?
No, archery like where you shoot a target.
Tell us about rec time.
Rec time. All right, so rec time is basically games. You have to go for some reason, and it was horrible. The only good game was probably the golden retriever game, where they threw so basically what the game is, there's 4 lines, and then there's a hula hoop, which is the circle, and the leaders they would throw a disc, and then you have to wait until they blew the whistle, and basically you each get a dodgeball, and if you grab the disc, you have to run it back to the hula hoop, or before you get hit with the dodgeball. And if you get hit with the dodgeball, you have to let go of the disc and throw it to the next person, or throw your dodgeball to the next person in line. And that was pretty fun. What's up? Yeah, for person. It was okay. And then there was a wet wreck, which swim in the swimming pool the whole time, so I don't really know about that.
Yeah, recreation. All right. You explained things. Anybody ever play that game Foursquare, where you have the four squares? That's kind of what Nine Square is, except it's in the air. And you just have to make sure that the ball doesn't stay. You get one hit. Instead of one bounce, you get one hit. And you have to hit the ball into someone else's square. So it's real fun. Any other questions? Yeah, that was a full day at camp. I got up about 6:30 every morning, and went to the cross and whatnot, and then but we had a leaders meeting every morning at like 7:30, and if we were good leaders and went to it, then we got to get in breakfast line first, which was my favorite part of camp, is that I got to eat before everybody else. No. Yeah, I was like, ha, you're outside, I'm eating. No. Any other All right, so I'm gonna pray for these youth students, but also that I'm gonna pray for Josh and the kids going to preteen camp. Um, Parents, if you're sending your kid to preteen camp, preach to them tonight to drink lots of water. Take a shower. Junior high boys do not like taking showers, so I can't imagine what third, fourth, fifth graders like. All right, so we're gonna pray. All right. Cold showers. I took a cold shower every day because you wanted to take a cold shower. All right, we're gonna pray. Father God, thank you so much just for the experience that you so graciously allowed us to have. A time where we can reflect and grow closer to you, but also have some fun. God, I just pray right now for the student ministry. God, that you would continue to have your way with it, and God, that you would continue to grow each and every one of us. God, it blows my mind how much I learn from these students. And I just pray right now, God, that you would continue to teach me and teach the students. I just pray that as we get back into our normal routines and stuff, that we don't forget where we just came from, and God, that we will just kind of remind ourselves on a daily basis that we need to reflect on those moments where we grow closer to you, so that we can continue to grow. God, I pray right now for Josh and Tracy and these 18 children that are headed to preteen camp. God, I just pray that you would protect them. God, that they would get to camp safely, and that they will return safely. God, I just pray for weather, that you would just calm every storm. God, that they would have a nice, sunny but not hot week. we're a great cloud of witness that loves on these students just as much as I do. We love